Most recent update, which I'm really excited about, and I can't wait to share the results once we have them, is they're doing a study on essential oils using Campo for pre and post-op surgery. So they're using lavender, pre-op, even when they're starting with just the interview piece of it. This is what your surgery is going to look like. Here's what you can anticipate. And they're starting. This is with some really, sensitive areas like intestinal type of issues where people are like super nervous. It's very, complex surgery. And so they're starting it even in the interview process. And then they're doing it just before they go into surgery, about 20 minutes before surgery, pre-op, to help them calm themselves down. Then post-op, they're doing it for nausea with peppermint. And then the other thing post-op they're doing is sweet orange to help people with their appetite. So this is really exciting because now we're going to have like real factual documentation from an incredible institution supporting the real natural healing benefits of plant medicine.
Are you curious about discovering ways of making your life better? Then welcome to my podcast. I'm Bob Nickman, and this is The Exploding Human. Listen in while I talk with all kinds of people in the fields of personal growth, health and healing, alternative therapies, psychology, spirituality, environment, and the future. I'm looking for those answers that make life better for everyone. You'll meet cutting-edge practitioners, doctors, artists, filmmakers, business people, and those who have overcome challenges. The brave, the curious, anyone who's out there helping us humans to explore, expand, and explode. Hey, welcome to The Exploding Human. My name is Bob Nickman. My guest today is Jessica Frandson, and we are going to be talking about essential oils and aromatherapy. But first, I'd like to invite you to visit my website, theexplodinghuman.com. Over there, you can listen to episodes, read synopses, see photos of my guests, and there's a little bio on myself. There's also a YouTube channel where you can listen. That is The Exploding Human with Bob Nickman. My guest today is Jessica Frandson. She is a co-owner of a company called Campo, which makes essential oils. And we're going to be talking about what essential oils are, what they do, how we can use them, and how they can improve our life, our health, and our well-being. Jessica talks about how she took her interest in essential oils and working for her father's company, Simply Green, where she became interested in all-natural products. I really enjoyed talking to her. This is probably the best smelling episode I've ever done. So here she is. This is Jessica Frandson. Good morning, Jessica. It's so great to see you. Would you rather be called Jess or Jessica?
I love Jess.
We'll go with Jess.
Okay, perfect.
Okay, it sounds more something. I don't know what the something is. Like you'd be a musician or something.
Oh, okay. Thank you.
Yeah, that's what I meant. Like it swings a little bit more. It's less formal.
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah. And by the way, folks, if you're listening to this, Jess is glamorous. She got fixed up for this morning, thinking that it was going to be video too, and it might be down the road. But just so you know, your efforts have not gone unnoticed by at least me. So
why, thank you.
Yes.
And you look very dapper as well.
Well, yeah, I'm just a bald guy with a microphone, but thank you. Bald man with a microphone. So we're going to talk about essential oils. At first, we're going to do that. And my experience with them is somewhat limited, but very positive. I use on a regular basis peppermint oil. I don't have a lot of headaches, but when I do, which is maybe twice a year, I'll put a little peppermint oil on the temples, making sure I don't get it in my eye, because I made that mistake once. And oh my God, it works. It works. And why does it work? I don't know. And I've tried things like, I just remember this one scent called Lang Lang, which is YLANG. I put it in the bathtub and very relaxing. So let's talk about what essential oils are, what scents do, how the body reacts to it. What are the healing properties? Just tell us all the things that we need to know, and I'll just sit back and enjoy. But I'll have questions.
Perfect. So I'll start just with one of the basics, which is what is an essential oil? And an essential oil is literally the essence of plants. It can be leaves, twigs, flowers, rinds of peels of citrus. And there's a couple ways that you can extract the oils. So one method is distillation, where they would put water and steam it, and then you extract the oils that way. That's one beautiful way to extract the oils. And then the second way is through a cold press. So you take, and that would be more, like I said, towards citrus fruits. You'd be the rind, the peel, and that would be pressed, and then the oils from the rinds are expressed out. So that's really what an essential oil is. It's the essence of the plant. So it's very straightforward. It's very simple. And I mean, it dates back to like 4,500 BC. The ancient Egyptians were using it. So essential oils have been around for, thousands and thousands of years. And it really is plant medicine. And it's really beautiful to see that people are kind of turning back to what has worked in the past. I think we've gotten away from so many things that are just simple and basic and from nature, and turned to so many synthetics and things that are man-made versus just either turning to oneself, your own breath, and things in nature, which are so beautiful and simple. So that is what an essential is. And then aromatherapy is basically how you enjoy essential oils. Two basic ways to enjoy essential oils would either be through inhalation, so through your nose, breathing in. And the second place would be dermally through your skin, absorbing through your skin. And whether you're doing it through your skin or inhaling through your nose, the effects are almost immediately because they're getting into your bloodstream. And when you're inhaling the essential oils, how you're feeling the benefits of it is that it's going into your olfactory system, which then connects to your limbic system, which is part of your brain. And your scent is one of your most primal and oldest senses. And so when it hits your limbic system, that controls and it connects to emotion, memory, and how that scent connects to those things. And then the limbic system also affects things like your breathing, your heart rate. So like when you're nervous, and then you would have like maybe a hit of lavender, and you start to feel that calming effect. That's one way the essential is hitting your brain and affecting your body in that way. And then again, if you're applying it to your skin, it's absorbing into your bloodstream, and then you're feeling it at that level. So those are kind of some of the basic ways of enjoying essential oils, how they enter your body, and the effects of it. But really and truly, it's really the ability of your brain to connect to scent and that memory of what that scent recalls. And then, as you were talking about, like say peppermint, a lot of times what some of these essentials are doing, they're allowing your blood vessels to either open up and flow. And so sometimes it's calming your nervous system, or other times it's stimulating your nervous system. So it can have all these different effects on you based on what that essential oil is and the properties of it.
I'm wondering about peppermint now because is it a vasoconstrictor? Is that what it does?
Yeah, that's a very fancy word. Yes.
Shrinks the blood vessels because I remember reading, like, if you want to get rid of a headache, this is a terrible way to get rid of a headache, but it works. Cigarettes and coffee, because they constrict the blood vessels.
Oh my goodness. Yes. I've heard coffee. I did not know cigarettes.
Because nicotine does the same thing.
It's funny that you bring up cigarettes. So I remember listening to Tony Robbins years and years and years ago. And I remember one of the things that struck me when I was listening to him was that he talked about people that smoke. And really, it's not so much the cigarette and the nicotine, it's the act of the deep breath. And people forget. And so that's another really important piece of what we like to really spread the message is really creating these little mini rituals for yourself, these little mini meditation, daily rituals that you can create for yourself throughout the day that incorporate your breath. And as much as we want to introduce the essential oil as part of that ritual, one of the things what we believe is your biggest gift is your breath. It's something you can stop any time of day, take a time out, and really reset yourself and then restart. So connecting to your breath is one of the most important tools that, if you walked away from one thing of on this podcast, I think is a water cooler moment, is connecting to your breath and then connecting and grounding yourself to Mother Nature. Very similar to what your husband talked about when he was on the show. So, which I love that you guys are so in tune with that very simple thing, which, anybody can breathe, right? any time of the day. What do I do? Breathe. Just breathe. Then slow it down. Yes.
and maybe hold it in for a while and let it out.
Exactly.
It's yeah.
In fact, one of the things that that one of our daily rituals. So we founded the company on 4 daily rituals. And if I can back up just a little bit, one of the reasons my best friend, longtime childhood friend, and I started this company was because in college we started dabbling in essential oils, and we thought that was super fun and cool, and we'd make our own mixes. And in fact, Jill still has this old tattered recipe book that had some of our fun little recipes from back in the day. And so one of the things that we realized when this was just, gosh, I guess now it's going about 5 years, I went back to visit Jill. We're both Southern California natives, and she moved to Texas for love. And so I was getting settled in her home, and I'd brought my little mini apothecary. So I had about 5 essential oils, and I had my favorite perfume. And I've always been really connected to scent, good and bad. So I could walk into an open house and be like, oh, there's mold in this house. Or if there's something really beautiful and very faint, I can also appreciate that. So that's been a gift that I've had my entire life, and I really appreciate that gift. So fast forward, I'm at my girlfriend's house, and she's checking on me to see that I'm settled in. And she goes, oh my gosh, I have the same perfume. And then she opens up this cabinet, and from floor to ceiling is this apothecary of essential oils. So that night, when we were catching up and, just talking about our lives, we're moms, we were busy, we were working moms. We started talking about, like, why do essential oils have to be in brown tincture bottles? Why does it have to have this stigma of, kind of like this stinky patchouli hidden in the back of the crunchy aisle? And, I grew up in Laguna Beach. So I've been around kind of like the grassroots movement of, sprouts and avocado and essential oils and, incense my whole life. Like that's not new to me, but they're definitely, even for myself, like patchouli was not something I ever enjoyed. But now that I have really educated myself, there are beautiful patchoulis out there. It's like anything. You can have a box wine, and then you can have, a Screaming Eagle cult wine. There's so many different levels of ingredients, which is another really important thing here at Campo. It's one of our pillars is having integrative ingredients and having everything be 100% natural, no synthetics, no dirty ingredients. So those are some really important things. So that night, after, talking about the needs in our lives, like, oh my gosh, I need more energy. I lose my focus during the day, drinking coffee. And then at the end of the day, I'm drinking wine to kind of bring myself back down to planet Earth. And then, at night, sometimes I can go to bed really easy because I'm so tired, but then I wake up in the middle of the night, and then my head just races and I zoom. And then, so we were just, talking about life, and, we have really beautiful, blessed lives, but even such, those were our pain points: was energy, focus, relax, and sleep. So as we started talking about it, both of us had entrepreneurial backgrounds, and we thought to ourselves, like, why not reimagine what essential oils could be? Let's take the ancient rituals of aromatherapy that date back, like I said, to like 4,500 BC, maybe even earlier. And then let's also mix it with the beautiful art of making perfume, meaning if it smells beautiful, if it smells intoxicating, then we felt you'd be more apt to incorporate these rituals into your daily lives. So with that, we came up with our 4 pillars, which was energy, focus, relax, and sleep. And we thought, who could say no to that? If you walked up to anybody universally, do you want more energy? Do you need more focus? Do you need to relax and sleep and do this all naturally? And so we set about doing that. And we also kind of lovingly said, well, what if Tom Ford and Apple had an essential oil baby? What would that look like? It would be clean, modern, intuitive, have knockout healing powers, smell intoxicating, be jet set ready. So you could take it to and from work. You could move it around your house, put it in your backpack if you're heading down to the beach or wherever, wherever your travels take you. We wanted it to be jet set ready. So when we looked at essential oils, the other thing we thought was that we could improve upon in terms of how essential oils were being received by the market was, if you go into a Whole Foods store, or any of like a natural path store, you'd either get an A or an F experience. Somebody was either super knowledgeable and can really start you on that journey and, say, oh, I'm coming in because I have headaches, tech neck, this kind of thing, or I'm having trouble sleeping. They might point you in the right direction, or you're just staring at a wall of essential oils and you're on your phone trying to say, okay, what do I need? So you might walk out with a couple $100 worth of essential oils, and then you get home and you're like, now what do I do with it? And then the other experience that, as we were looking at the market, was some of these multi-level marketing. Again, you get invited to somebody's party. There's a little bit of a peer pressure to buy something. And then you go home and you're like, what do I do with this? So we wanted to take all the guesswork out of it. So that's what we did. So if you take a blend like Energy, any one of our blends probably has, 4 to 5 different single note essential oils. And in our Energy blend, we have an essential oil called neroli, which is an orange blossom. It's the finest part of an orange blossom. Now, oftentimes people call out something like neroli, but it's really twigs and leaves. And when we call it orange blossom neroli, ours is truly the orange blossom. So we use top shelf ingredients. And with that, we feel like Campo is a little slice of luxury because you'll get all of these beautiful top notes or essential oils, but you're not paying for 5 or 6 different bottles. You just have to get one bottle for that ethos, is what we like to call it, of what you need. So that's what we felt was very different with Campo when we started out the company. And in fact, that's what we named Campo, means field or countryside in Italian and Spanish. We sourced all of our ingredients globally, and then we bring them back here to the States where we blend them.
So where do you blend them? Where's your operation?
So I'm based in California, and I head up, all the front facing. I do the development. I do all of the testing, creating the products. And then Jill, my business partner, she's based in Texas, which really makes sense for our company. So we blend and warehouse out of Texas because then we can kind of hit the entire East and West Coast really nicely.
That's great. That's great. And so the blends, you came up with them yourself?
Yeah. So that was really fun part of, I feel like I get to do a lot of the really fun stuff. So I actually went and studied how to make perfume. And that was one of the really important pieces of how we make our all of our blends, is we really felt that it had to smell so intoxicating, because if it smelled, it's like, if something doesn't smell good, you're not going to want to put it on and then head out. Like, everyone in the office is like, oh, here comes Jess again, smelling like menthol. So that was a really fun piece of it, is learning how to blend with a top, middle, and base note. And that also gives it a richness and a complexity too. And so you're not only getting all the wonderful healing qualities of it, you're getting this beautiful, like, I don't even want to call it perfume worthy, because that's a little bit misleading, in the sense that the difference between a scent and a fragrance should be, scent is something that is from nature and fragrance is something that's manufactured. And so perfumes, for the most part, are manufactured, and that's a fragrance. And so that's going to stay with you and last longer. Whereas an essential oil has a volatile compound, and volatile I know it sounds a little negative, but it's actually, all it means is that it evaporates at room temperature very quickly. And so that's another kind of important takeaway with essential oils. One of the most important things to learn when you're starting your journey with essential oils is that if you use a pure oil, you want to make sure you use a carrier oil if you're using it to apply to your body, because it's 100%, it's pure in its form. Now, some of the essential oils are not as potent, like say lavender. If you did apply that to your skin directly, you'd probably be just fine. But then something like peppermint, which is a lot more potent, for sure, you're going to want to have a carrier oil to go along with that. So that was one of the things that we wanted to make, just make more easy. And when we talk about Jet Set Ready, we created roll-ons that have the perfect ratio of essential oil to the carrier oil, so that you can just apply it directly to your pulse points. And your pulse points would be kind of similar to the areas that you would apply perfume. So, but starting at the top of your head, it would be your temples, then just behind your ear, the occiput, and then working down, it would be like the crook of your elbow, inside of your elbow, your wrists, behind your knees. And then my favorite is your feet. So I like to take the roll-on and I'll just slather it on my hand, and then I'll pat the bottoms of my feet. So, whether it's the beginning of the day or the end of the day, that's just, a really great way to get happy feet and then like re-stimulate yourself, because your feet are one of your biggest absorption points. So that was another really important thing for us. And then the carrier oils that we use are top shelf and they're beauty grade. So we thought, gosh, if we're going to use a carrier oil, and there's plenty out there, you can use, if you're at home and you have a bottle of essential oil and you have olive oil, use that. You could use coconut oil, absolutely anything. But we wanted to take it and kick it up a notch. And so we did our research, and what we found is that jojoba oil is the closest to your body's natural sebum. So what that means, it absorbs more quickly, and then that gets into your bloodstream more quickly. And then we really loved it because it has a really nice finish. It's not greasy. Then we added some other special things that have beauty grade qualities, like camellia seed and sunflower oil. So Those are some of the things that are little beauty benefits for Campo, and you can use it as a multitasker. So even if you're applying, say, a relax essential oil, just because you need to calm yourself down after, maybe a big meeting at work or on your way before you just pull into the house and you have to greet your kids and the dog and get dinner ready. It's a great multitasker. Like I said, you can use it on the ends of your hair bob, or you can use it under your eyes. You can use it on your cuticles. You can use it just about anywhere.
Are the essential oils in the carrier oil when you purchase them, or do you do that yourself?
So what we do, so for you guys, so what we wanted to do is literally make it jet set ready and ready to go. So there's 2 delivery systems for Campo. We have it sold in the pure form. So the 100%, it's just the oil. Comes in your traditional looking. But one of the other things we did our research on our bottles. Everything we do with our packaging has intention and purpose. So when we're talking about our pure essential oils, and those for the most part, people are using it in the diffuser, and that you'd add your water first, then you'd add some of the essential oil, and then that diffuses into the air, and then that absorbs up through, like I said, through your olfactory into your limbic system. That's through your breath and your inhalation. One of the things that's really beautiful about our pure oils is that we put it in a violet glass bottle. So the benefit of the violet glass bottle is twofold. One is that it really helps to harness the energetic properties, the natural energetic properties of the plants. They all have their own healing resonance. And then the second beauty benefit of having it in this violet glass is that it helps to protect and block out any of the harmful UV rays. So then that helps with the shelf life as well. And then when it comes to the pre-blended with the carrier oil in the roll-on, like I said, we've already put in the perfect amount of carrier oil to the perfect amount of essential oil so that it's the right ratio for your skin.
You really thought this out.
We tried to. We really were like, we wanted it for ourselves. And so like, what would we want? Let's make this, just really top shelf, really yummy, really beautiful, just a little slice of luxury at a really approachable price.
Now, you said something a couple minutes ago that I really loved, which was top, middle, and base notes. So notes, I guess we could say it's music.
Oh, yeah.
So there's vibration. So scents have various vibrations, because I've done a lot of podcasts on sound and sound healing. And there's really not any difference there's a difference, but there's no difference between vibration is vibration. And so certain scents vibrate in the body a certain way, like music would. And, a lot of people like my wife has a very sensitive nose, and she smells things I don't even smell. And she's like, that's too strong. That's too this. And I'm like, okay. But for me, I like it. So I don't know what to, so I hear differently. I smell differently. So I guess some oils would not work for certain people, and other people they really resonate with. How do you make these decisions about what to get? You just experiment and see what works, I guess, in some ways.
So that's a good question. And so that was one of the things we were trying to take the guesswork out of for people. So again, just kind of getting back to our daily rituals of energy, focus, relax, and sleep. When we started I'll take sleep, for example. We would look at, what are all the different potential essential oils that would help with that benefit of sleep. So there's lots and lots of options out there. But from there, we looked at what smelled the best, in our opinion, after going through all of these, what would smell the best? Well, one in particular that was really powerful, but didn't smell good, which is valerian root. It is it'll knock you out. It is so pungent. Like I really couldn't believe it. So what we did was we really worked hard to sneak that ingredient in. So it's just the right amount where you get that beautiful, it calms the brain down. It gets you into that deep sedative sleep. So you can get that REM sleep, but then we've masked it with all these other beautiful notes like lavender and bergamot. So they're just beautiful, beautiful notes. And that's what we think is really special about Campo, is that takes that guesswork out there for you. And on if you go to our website, if you're curious about, is this going to resonate with me in terms of how the scent profile is, we list that there for you. So it'll say herbal, or it'll say floral, it'll say minty, woodsy. So you start to get a handle, even if you haven't smelled it firsthand. And really and truly with Campo, we feel so proud of everything we've created. If you do purchase something and it's been on such a rare occasion that I've ever had anything returned based on scent, we absolutely take it back because we understand it's such a personal journey. But we feel like the best place to start is what is your body needing and feeling. So again, we have the daily rituals. And then from there, we looked at all the real medicinal pieces of how essential oils can heal the body. So we started from the head to to our toes. So we have crown for headaches and tech neck that really helps ease that tension. We have one for breathe that helps you open up if you're feeling congested. We have one that is for immunity, which is really fantastic, especially during kind of the cold and flu season. We have one called Detox. It's great. And then another one that's really near and dear to my heart is called Mama. And it's twofold. One is Jill wrote the recipe, the basis of it when she was pregnant with twins and she got put on bed rest. And so she created this incredible belly oil and she just slathered herself up and, just enjoyed that time on the sofa with her baby. And she came out with just this glowing, healthy 2 babies and not one stretch mark. And just, her stomach went back flat as a, washboard. And then fast forward about a year into us having Campo, we got approached by Hoag Hospital, which is one of the most renowned hospitals, definitely in the country, and is in our backyard here in Southern California. And they approached us, and at first they just wanted us to do an aromatherapy bar at one of their facilities. They really wanted to reimagine what health and wellness could be. And we were so flattered to get this feather in our cap, having this institution really believe in what we're doing and wanting to share that with their customers and their patients. So we started with the aromatherapy bar, and they built out basically like this huge wall, and they let us design it. It was so beautiful. And it was so well received. They took it a step further. Then when they wanted to reimagine how the birthing experience could happen. So they started with just 12 suites. And when you check in, it looks like you're at a Four Seasons. You don't see any medical equipment. It doesn't smell like a hospital. In the birthing rooms, you don't see any medical equipment. They've got big screen TVs for the partners that come in to support the wife that's having the baby. They have rain showers. And so they wanted us to come up with a birthing ritual. So we came up with a whole protocol of essential oils that's called RBR, which is relax, breathe, receive. So when these ladies were coming in to have babies, we felt what was the most important thing? First, we have to set them at ease, help them relax, then help them to start to getting to that, tapping into their breath. And that was the next piece of it. And then receive is to help them like literally open up their blood vessels and really like let their body open up and get ready to receive and have childbirth. So that was another really special thing. And then from there, that led to, they created a place called Flywell at John Wayne Airport. And they said, hey, again, would you please bring in and do an aromatherapy bar? Because one of the biggest pain points for travel is people have a fear of flying and they get nervous, they get anxious. So they can come in, they can try all of our different essential oils. There's like VR where they can do virtual reality and look like they're, in Hawaii, it's kicking back at the beach before they get on the airplane. And then the most recent update, which I'm really excited about, and I can't wait to share the results once we have them, is they're doing a study on essential oils using Campo for pre and post-op surgery. So they're using lavender, pre-op, even when they're starting with just the interview piece of it. This is what your surgery is going to look like. Here's what you can anticipate. And they're starting. This is with some really, sensitive areas like intestinal type of issues where people are like super nervous. It's very, complex surgery. And so they're starting it even in an interview process. And then they're doing it just before they go into surgery, about 20 minutes before surgery, pre-op, to help them calm themselves down. Then post-op, they're doing it for nausea with peppermint. And then the other thing post-op they're doing is sweet orange to help people with their appetite. So this is really exciting because now we're going to have like real factual documentation from an incredible institution supporting the real natural healing benefits of plant medicine.
That is really hopeful and impressive that any conventional hospital would consider something like that. That would have been completely not a part of anything 10 years ago. You wouldn't have heard of it. They'd say, what the heck is that? We're not doing that. That's just woo-woo nonsense.
It's so true. I know. I mean, I just, like I said, we feel so blessed. We feel so, I mean, to be heard like this and to be acknowledged is so exciting. And again, we didn't create aromatherapy. This is something that has, been around forever, but we're really proud of where we've taken this movement and how we've made it modern aromatherapy where, and that's the other thing is we wanted people to be able to shop and find Campo in places where they're used to shopping. So it could be at, department stores, your favorite, local boutique, spas and resorts, not hidden away in the back of a crunchy aisle. So we're really, really excited and really we love what we do.
And those tiny bottles of essential oil last a very long time. Well, I guess depending on how much you use it, but it's just a couple of drops, right? It's
absolutely. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I've done a lot on my wrist and temples. That's the only. Oh, wait a minute. I had another. I forget the name of it. My wife got this stuff, and we used to put it on our feet to kind of ground us if you're feeling a little bit confused or flighty or whatever you want to talk about. That was you could definitely tell. And I think the more you use stuff like that, the more intuitive your body becomes in responding to it. That's my experience with it.
Absolutely. It is. It becomes like this positive trigger. Like, if you've ever done any meditation, you don't even have to go through the whole meditation. Once you've kind of programmed your brain to that, you can literally think about it and it takes you to that place.
The time to get to the place becomes less and less the more you do. It's like an exercise, like a muscle that gets reactivated very easily.
That's so true. And then actually looking at your beautiful background right now, the palm trees swaying and the ocean in the background, the third collection we created is called our Destination Collection. And that started because the first year we were in business, it was coming into the holiday season. And I really wanted something that evoked like the scent of a fresh cut Christmas tree, just that holiday scent. And, as I started on this journey with essential oils, the more I got to experience them and the different levels and quality of them. And, again, we call ours top shelf. They're just the best of the best. You get more and more sophisticated with your sense of smell. And so as much as I used to love burning candles and things of that nature, the more I turn away from synthetics, the more I can't be around them. So, the holiday candles I used to burn really were turning me off. I couldn't appreciate them the way I once did. So that was kind of another necessity. I'm like, okay, Jill, we have to create a holiday scent, something that smells like a Christmas tree. Like that's my favorite scent when you start hanging garland and you smell that Christmas tree. So our first holiday scent was woods, and it's like fir balsam, black spruce, pine scotch. It's just absolutely knocks your socks off. So we thought that would be a limited edition. Let's see how it goes. I really created it for myself. Well, it was so well received that people were like, no, you have to have that all year round. Well, then we're like, gosh, everything makes sense. We have our daily rituals. We have our natural remedies. And then we have this centipede with a wooden leg. Like, what do we do with woods? It doesn't really fit into any of these categories. If we're trying to educate people in a quick little 30-second elevator pitch, like how do we, where do we fit this in? So we started talking about it. And one of the really powerful things about essential oils is the ability to transport you also to a place, like a sense of smell. Like, again, you get off the plane in Hawaii, you smell that plumeria. I don't have to be in Hawaii right now. I can smell plumeria. Or the first time you walk into someone's rose garden and you bend down and you smell a rose. Like right now we can all conjure up what that smells like. And you can picture your favorite, grandma's garden or, wherever you've been, where you've got that mental connection with sense of smell. So we started thinking about the history of Campo, our California roots, and we thought, okay, let's create a destination collection based on our California roots. So we created an ocean blend, a canyon blend, desert, and then woods. And then so now that rounds out the whole destination collection. And each one of these scents can literally transport you to the ocean, to your favorite canyon, to your favorite desert, like Palm Springs, we think about, there's grapefruit, there's sagebush, just tumbling around, like all these just really great scents that just, are just so incredibly intoxicating and grounding. And there's just such a healing pulse out in the desert. So when we created all of these blends, we really took ourselves to those places and thought about the different scents and plants that are native to those places and literally put them in a bottle.
I was thinking about what are some of the scents that I that trigger certain things in me. Fresh cut grass takes me back to childhood.
Absolutely.
I don't know why, it just does. And every time I smell fresh cut grass, I feel so good.
That's so true. I agree with you 100%.
Here's another one I thought of. I love the smell of horses. Hay, horses, manure, that whole sort of barn smell. I don't know why. I've always loved earthy. That stuff.
Earthy. I do too.
Yeah. The earthy thing works for me really well.
My daughter rides horses, so I'm at the barn daily. So
okay.
You and I have a lot in common here. You're hitting on all the things that I love.
Let's talk about some of the specific types of essential oils and what they do. Now, you mentioned something about memory, which I'm very fascinated with that as I'm approaching, I'm there. I'm a senior citizen. Chronologically, I don't, in no other way really, but I like to think. So memory, focus, what are some of the, can we do a quick thing of what certain things do?
So there's so many, like what's really interesting and beautiful about essential oils is say, for example, something like lavender. I call that the gateway essential oil. Everybody pretty much knows what lavender smells like. Yeah. When you look at just one single note essential oil, it can have so many benefits. I mean, that's what's so beautiful. And then, so for something like lavender, it's very calming, yet it's very soothing. It can literally calm your nerves. And then you look at something like sandalwood, which that's really grounding. It helps you to have clarity. So that's why we wanted to create more really straightforward ethos, because every essential oil has maybe not just one property. It might have 3 or 4. It could be, in addition to like how it makes you feel, it may have it could be great for antibacterial. Like, so in addition to like some of the healing properties, it might have other applications that you wouldn't even think about. And so that's what we've done on our website, which we thought was really something missing out there as well, is we created a place called our ingredient field. So we've taken every single ingredient that we have in any of our blends, and we've done it alphabetically. So you can go in there and you can get a little bit of history on it, like where it came from, the origin, some of the top benefits of it, what it smells like, what else? I think I mentioned the origin. So that's a really great place to start if you're looking for, just one specific, like, oh, hey, frankincense. I've always wondered about that. The king's oil, that's, I've heard so many different benefits to it, but that's great for pain. Like we've gotten letters from people that, I gave a diffuser with frankincense to my brother. He was getting chemotherapy and it really helped him with his pain and nausea. Like we get stuff all the time. And so in addition to what we're learning from, textbooks and our research, we get so many beautiful testimonials of things that we never even thought of, on or read about.
Okay. So the website has a lot of educational material.
Absolutely. And we want to continue to just make that a really rich resource for people, because one of the things, I think we're all, it's like Google, I don't know something, let me Google it, let me find it. But then you start kind of going down rabbit holes and there's not just one central area where you're like, oh, this feels like a trusted place where I can get my information. And so that's something that's really near and dear to our hearts. And we want to continue to we felt like when we started, we wanted to keep it really simple, very straightforward. So you didn't have to be a scientist to navigate through the material. And then as people go on this journey, we'll have other places they continue to kind of graduate to and literally build more knowledge and have that place and offer that to people. But right now, I would say our encyclopedia looks kind of like if Vogue did essential oils, like there's pretty pictures, there's some big quotes, it kind of engages you. And then if you want to dive a little deeper, you can keep on scrolling down the page. But that was our approach to it, was to not overwhelm it, but just to give those big nuggets to start with.
Yeah, I love that. That's going to be helpful to me because I got a little bit confused when I started getting into them years ago, and I've sort of distanced myself from it because of the, what do you call it? That type of marketing where,
Oh, the MLM.
yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
I didn't care for that.
No.
So, and the store where I got them closed. So that was close. So I just got, life gets busy. So now there's now with the web, you can do all kinds of things. All the education, the purchasing, shipping, all that stuff is all in one great place. So I love that. I love that. I want to talk about atomizers because that was a confusing piece to me. The diffusers, I mean, is that what you call
Oh,
it?
sure.
Diffuser? Yeah.
Diffuser.
There
Yes.
must be varying qualities and types. And what do you recommend and how do they work?
So the diffuser that we have is an ultrasonic diffuser. So it operates with a real low frequency, and so it's putting out really tiny micro, drops, and that's infused with the essential oil. So basically, the inner housing, and we really love ours, and the inner housing is plastic, but it's PBA free. So first, you would start with the water when you put it in. This is just like a tip because sometimes people put the oil in first, and then they put the water, and then the oil will gunk up the inner housing. Think of it almost like a coffee maker. You wouldn't put the coffee grounds in and then the water, if it was all one machine, you'd want to put the water and then the coffee grounds. So you put your water in and then you put a few drops of the essential oil. And we always recommend you start light, like with maybe 5 drops, and then you can always add more. And as your sensitivity builds up or as you start to enjoy it, then you can add more, but it's hard to take away. It's easier to add. So with our diffuser, one of the things we really wanted to do, we felt aesthetics were super important. And that kind of takes me back. One more thing is we've also coined something called the invisible environment and invisible design. Because when you think about, you walk into any space, you see things, you see, oh, there's some beautiful flowers. That's a great kitchen. The pillows on the sofa are beautiful. Or you walk into an office, oh, that's a very grand conference table, what have you. But what people don't think about, but they feel it, is the invisible environment, which would be that sense of smell and how that makes you feel. And so that's what we're coining with Campo, is the invisible environment or the invisible design. And a really big piece of Campo when we were putting the whole company together was we wanted the design to be very aesthetic. We wanted everything to be able to rest above the counter, it could be next to your beautiful perfume. It could be in your kitchen next to your, your coffee maker. It could be at your office next to your computer, and it's not going to detract. It's just going to complement your environment. So we have a really neutral, palette with black and white. So it's very, very subtle, very neutral. And then when it came to the diffusers, prior to Campo, they were just really kind of hokey looking. And there's different qualities, obviously. And so again, having the ultrasonic piece of it, really it vibrates and it literally marries the two together in terms of the water and the molecules of the oil. So when it's coming out, it's just beautiful and dispersing. Then the other thing that was important, which we love about our diffusers, is that it has an auto shut off. So it'll run about 3.5 hours if it's on continuous. And then we have another option on it where you can hit it a second time and it'll go on and off intermittently for about 5 hours. And then when it's done, it won't run the motor out. It just automatically shuts off. So those were some things that we thought would be some creature comforts that we wanted. And then just the design of it, we wanted it again to just be really chic, like a little piece of art. So our diffusers come in white and black ceramic, and then we have a beautiful wood collection that comes in like a natural, almost like a driftwood, and then one that's a little bit darker. But the other great thing about a diffuser, it's really a passive way to enjoy essential oils. You don't have to think about it, and it's a great alternative to a candle, especially if you have children or pets. You don't have to worry about them knocking it over. It's really, it's just a really safe, kid-friendly way to scent the house. And I mean, for me personally, like we start our day, instead of hitting the coffee machine, it's almost like waking the house up with I think about birds chirping and the sun rising. I just put energy on, and then you hit this burst of citrus and the orange blossom, and it's just beautiful.
I wish I had a giant cabinet full of everything.
Well, you've got some things coming your way. So
that's right. Thank you. I appreciate that. You're sending a little sampler, I guess, is on the way.
The other thing that's great is using the diffuser at night. It's got so many benefits. there's actually the other cool thing is there's a study being done. I think it's at Irvine, UCI, where they were using essential oils at night with Alzheimer's patients. And one of the things that they were doing is they were mixing up what essential oil. So they wouldn't stay like with the same one forever. They would keep with the same one. I don't know exactly the length of time for the study, but let's just call it a month. And then it's almost like muscle confusion. Like when you're working out, don't keep doing the same routine, do something slightly different to get a little bit different result. And that was helping, I guess, connect some of the neural pathways. So there's so many different things that are so exciting. And if you can just do something passively at night, it's not going to hurt you and it's only going to help you. And so especially with our sleep blend in particular, it helps you to really sedate yourself and knock yourself out so you can really stay in that REM, that deep REM sleep. But it also will help you, like there's the little micro drops of water actually hydrating your skin from, the outside, and then you're getting the benefits from the inside once you're inhaling it. So it's a dual purpose. And then it's helping you with, when you have a really deep sleep, the benefits of sleep are just incredible. I mean, you get cellular renewal everywhere, not just from your beauty sleep, but internally, like your organs are healing. Your moods are better when you wake up. You have better brain function. So, I mean, just for those very simple reasons, I mean, just turning a diffuser on at night would be one really great way to start having some benefits of essential oils.
Do you think women have a stronger sense of smell than men? I do. That's my own observation, which is why I think one of the reasons women like getting flowers, they just seem to just go to this other place when they smell those flowers. This is all subjective. I have no scientific proof of any of this, but it seems historically men give women flowers. Doesn't usually go the other way as much.
Right. Well, it's interesting. On my very first date, my husband, he grew up with a mom that had a rose garden. So he has a real affinity for roses. And on our very first date, he handpicked roses from a neighbor's garden and brought them to me on a date. So it's hard for me to say firsthand because my husband he's not the norm. He's such a special man. But I would say even in our household, I definitely have the more sensitive sense of smell for sure.
Yeah, my house too. My wife, I walked into the kitchen, goes, "What's that smell?" And I had taken a couple drops of oil of oregano, which is strong. It's very strong.
It is.
But I didn't even smell it. So because I was the one who put it on, I use it for a couple of different things.
That's powerful. It's very good. Yeah, it's very medicinal.
Yeah, it's not an essential oil. It's just an oil.
Yeah.
It's strong. Now, I want to tell you a little story about scent. This is not an essential oil, but when I moved into the house I live in and the room I'm actually in without the background that I showed you, there was a weird energy in this room. And and I had my son sleeping in here and he was having some issues. So I took sage and I burned it in this room every day for, I don't know, a couple of weeks. And it went away, whatever was going on in this room. And I found out later that there had been some sort of a violent altercation in this room from the family that had lived here before. So that energy of that thing, I guess, I don't know, was in here. And the scent, plus we actually asked the energy to leave. Now this sounds, I know people that are listening to this go, this guy's talking about some stuff here that's a little out there, but I'm telling you what happened. That's all I'm saying. I don't have any special gift. I just tried this thing, but the sage is an amazing scent. So I'm into scents. I love this kind of stuff, that changing, really what you're doing is changing energy and frequency in a space, and whether it's in the space or in your own body, that's what this is. It's really an energetic vibration that gets shifted.
So that would be your invisible environment right there.
Yeah.
You changed it dramatically. You couldn't see it, but you could feel it.
Absolutely. I mean, I've had that my whole life where I walk into a room and I know whether I like being in that room or not. I haven't even talked to anybody. It's just like, this is strange or this is great.
There's another, I don't know if you've ever tried Palo Santo, but that's another ingredient we use. That's actually in our ocean blend, but we also you can burn Palo Santo with the same kind of ritual and effect. And It's beautiful, and it's used in ceremony and ritual to literally cleanse the energy and to bring about a peace and harmony. So it's similar. It's just from, I think it's probably just different cultures. Like it's from, I think ours is from, I want to say Peru, and we gather. It's collected, just naturally fallen from the tree. So no trees are harvested. It's just what falls from the tree, then is gathered, and then we repackage it and sell it. But I absolutely love the smell of Palo Santo, and I love the smell of sage. I think they're just so beautiful.
Yeah, me too. I'm really into that stuff. And most people don't burn or have scents in their homes, which is an interesting thing. We've gotten away from stuff like that. You just go in and maybe you smell cooking, which is not a bad thing, or you smell cleaning products,
right?
Which is horrific. Or you remember those stores that used to sell soap, the scented soaps? Mm-hmm. You walk in those places and the chemicals in those things, even though they're scented, they're designed by chemists, scent and flavor chemists. That's actually a category of science to come up with this stuff. And it's just, you walk out of there and you feel kind of sick.
It's interesting you say that, because another part of my journey, gosh, this is going back probably almost 20 years ago. I was working for my family business. My dad started this company called Simple Green, which is an all-purpose, non-toxic cleaning product. And I'd been working for the family business, and I saw this shift coming about. And while it was non-toxic and biodegradable, it was way ahead of its time. He invented it back in the 70s. It wasn't 100% natural. And I started thinking about this. And at the time I was getting my MBA. So, I thought I was super smart, and I thought I was going to make a change in the company and all these things. But I talked to my dad and I said, I really think we need to have something that's 100% natural. I think this movement is coming where we're going to need 100% natural. And so he listened. I was really, that's pretty cool, for somebody that had a very successful company to listen to kind of a green punk coming out of, school thinking she knew everything.
Yeah.
And so he let me really run with it. And so he let me develop a hand wash, like a soap, a dish soap, and like just an all-purpose cleaner. And I wanted to be 100% natural. So then I got to work with a fragrance house, and they're the first ones that taught me the difference between a scent and a fragrance, because I wanted the scent to be 100% natural. So they started bringing me all these essential, and I told them what I want. I said, I want one to be lavender, I want one to be citrus, and then I want one to be in the woods family, which was a spruce. And I didn't really think about it at the time when we started Campo, but after started going through the process, I'm like, oh, that was in the back of my mind. Like, it's an experience I already had, and I didn't even know that I had this knowledge, but it was a big piece of it that, ended up coming full circle later in life.
I love that. So you actually had an instinct for this way back.
Yeah. And it was really wild because I wasn't really thinking about the essential oils piece of it. I just knew I wanted it to be scented naturally. I wasn't even thinking about the benefit beyond that. I just wanted all the ingredients to be natural.
I explored a little bit of cleaning products myself. I've heard of Simple Green, of course, but I've tried a few things, just going on YouTube and seeing how people clean stuff. And one of the things I found was mixing baking soda with vinegar.
Yep, that's simple. Excellent.
And
excellent.
But my wife hates the smell of vinegar, so I have to.
Well, what you can do is you can add an essential oil. Just pick one of your favorite essential oils. You could use sweet orange, you could use lavender, anything bright, eucalyptus, peppermint. You could use absolutely anything. In fact, for our laundry at home, we don't use any. We use a fragrance-free natural soap, and then I just add whatever I'm feeling for the day. Holidays I might put some woods in. If it's springtime, I might put love, which is kind of has a rose note. If it's summertime, I might put ocean blend in. So there's so many beautiful ways that you can still get all the benefits of essential oils and without any of the synthetics, which not to get too sciencey because that's definitely not my hat, but it really boils down to it's the endocrine disruptors. And then that leads to so many harmful things. It can start with your hormones, which can lead to, weight gain, lack of sleep. I mean, and on to things that are more serious and severe. So, when you could start with just simple things like just eliminating a few things out of your daily, whether it's things you're putting on your body topically that have synthetics on it, whether it's chemicals in your home that you're cleaning your home with. It's just a way to start and really, get on a path to just feeling better. And that was really the basis of why Jill and I started this. When we talked about essential oils and what we needed, we wanted to create things that gave us more quality of life and that brought us more joy. So in a real nutshell, that's what we wanted for ourselves. And then that's what we wanted to share with others.
Well, you're doing it. You succeeded.
Thank you.
Yeah. I love when I meet people that have a desire to do something that's to help other people and themselves, of course, and then it turns into something bigger. I just think that is the greatest thing that I'm meeting the best people doing this show. I just, I found out so many things that I didn't know, and I'm somebody that's explored this stuff for decades, and I still am blown away by some of the knowledge I'm getting on this show. This is one of those episodes, of course. What's something that kind of, if there is something that kind of blew you away about essential oils, either a result of somebody using it or something you didn't know that it could do? Like, do you have a story of something that would kind of amaze me? And if you don't, I'll just cut this part out of the show. It's no big deal.
That's a good one. Okay. Well, I have one this is a personal one. It's not like mind blowing, but it was good for me. So
okay.
I used to always get pedicures. Okay. Probably starting in college, let's just call it. So for 20 years, I had my toenails were painted, but when I would take the polish off, I started noticing that my big toes, they looked awful. They looked like maybe I had like a fungus or something. So I actually had my toes tested. They were like just kind of flaky, peely, they didn't look healthy. It really bothered me. Went to foot doctor. Nope, you don't have any fungus. There's nothing wrong with you. It's probably just the nail polish and the years of, of wearing it. So I thought, okay, I was heading into winter, went and got a pedicure, took all the nail polish off, and I made a commitment to myself. I'm not going to use nail polish all winter long on my toes. I'm going to just let them heal and breathe. Well, I took it one step further. I started taking our Relax essential oil. We also have it as a body oil. So we have this, it's the same formula, but in a different dilution. So we have it, the 100% pure that you can put in the diffuser. Then we have the roll on, which is, a little bit more concentration, and then the body oil. So I kept it in the shower. I'm like, I'm going to start rubbing this on my toes every day and just see if this helps. Within a month, my toes were completely 100% like brand new baby toenails, like gorgeous, clean. And from that day forward, I never put nail polish on my toes again. And I just go get them buffed and they look beautiful and clean. And I have proud feet that I can wear sandals in the beach. So that's kind of a vanity one, but it was like, it bothered me. And I have to imagine it wasn't healthy for me. So that was, my body was telling me I didn't like something. So that's my own personal something that really was a fit.
Well, I'm sure that helped a lot, and also putting things on people don't realize this, I suppose, but nails breathe. They're not just, and they look solid, but they're not. And things get, if you're covering it up so they can't breathe with paint, basically.
We're just staying focused on just the power of plant medicine and essential oils and all the benefits of it.
Well, I appreciate your level of commitment to purity. That's a really wonderful thing.
Thank you.
And I think that's not only is a wonderful thing, but to me, it's the ultimate sales point for me. If I trust, a company to have that kind of integrity, I'll be loyal to it. So that's my feeling. So let's plug your company, because look how I segued into that. Was that so professional?
Yes, thank you.
So the website is, and spell it out so people cannot make a mistake and they go to the right place.
Yes. The company is Campo Beauty and the website is CampoBeauty.com, CampoBeauty.com.
All things essential oil and more at CampoBeauty.com. See, I always wanted to be a commercial announcer. That was my goal in life.
Well, you have the voice for sure.
All things beauty. So go check it out, and I'm sure you have all kinds of
things for first-time shoppers. I would imagine
Yes, we do.
you have deals.
Yeah, if you sign up for our insiders, tips and all that, you'll get 50% off immediately.
Get that, folks. You've come to the right show today. If you want to smell good and feel good and feel amazing, really, and have things that can help you in every area of your life, not just how your room smells, but how you feel, sleep, memory, all kinds of great things. I'm going to be the spokesman for Campo Beauty one day.
All right.
I don't know.
We'll take it. Come on. I want an Instagram post. After you get your product, check it out, and then we'll I want to repost you. And if you want to check us out on any of our social media feeds, it's Campo Beauty as well.
Okay, you heard that for Instagram and all those great places that have things. Jess, thank you so much for coming on the show. I really appreciate your time. Best to the husband, Mr. Justin Frandson.
Yes,
it is Justin, right?
It's Justin.
Yeah, I keep wanting to say a different name, but I didn't.
I call him Justino sometimes.
Well, what a great family you have, and it's a real testament to following your instincts and your intuition to do great things for other people as well as yourself. So thank you so much.
Well, thank you so much for having me today. This really was a delight. And, I know you love to spread your joy through laughter, which again is one of the best healing medicine tools you can do for yourself. So breathing and laughter. So thank you so much. I've had a lot of fun here today with you.
Same here. Have a wonderful day.
Okay, you as well.
Much appreciation for you folks listening to The Exploding Human. Please check out the website, theexplodinghuman.com, the YouTube channel, The Exploding Human with Bob Nickman. I want to thank Jess Frandson once again for being on the program. Check out campobeauty.com and learn more about essential oils and enjoy your day. Thanks so much.